I am finally done hanging out with my mom, dad, parents. My dad ended up going to bed several hours ago, and then I was like playing on my phone while talking with my mom. At one point, my mom mentioned there is a website in which you can actually go to support Jewish businesses, because Palestinians and other people are like objecting to the war with Israel and Palestine, I think it is. And so because of that, like, not just Palestinians, but like other people are objecting to it. And so because of that, they like have lost money, because it's like, no, we don't want to support Jews because they're killing people. But I know people object to it and like fall for the rhetoric in which has been shown on television. But my thing is like, okay, I understand you object to it, but why have not like, I've mentioned this before to you. It's like, okay, I understand, like, war sucks. It really does. Like, people die, thousands of people die, and it's all over like whatever, religious reasons, I want the land, etc. And I get it, especially if it's like, okay, like, yeah, so I totally understand. But I'm just like, what about XYZ? So like, my thing is, and I know you've heard this before, but I just want to reiterate, like, why didn't they like and people object to the war, but I'm like, okay, why haven't they negotiated earlier? Like, they could have stopped this years ago, because this has been going on for what, 2 years? They could have stopped this years ago. Like, Hamas was involved, and then suddenly, next thing you know, an entire Iraq, one of those countries, basically one of the Middle Eastern Muslim countries, went ahead and started fighting against Israel too. So now it's not just like the terrorist group or like the Muslim group, take that back, Muslim group. It's not just the Muslim group, but it's now like a country's against Israel. And it's like, okay, like, I understand people object to the war, but it's like, why didn't they negotiate years ago to release the treaties and be like, okay, we're going to go ahead and stop this, like, by us releasing the hostages? And it could have been a simple fix, like, so simple, like, so very, very simple, like. And it's simply because, oh no, we demand that you guys still follow like what we want, based upon like us holding the hostages. Dude, like, I don't think you understand. Israel's defense and military systems I'm impressed. Like, just from what I can tell, it's like, I'm impressed. I wouldn't say that they have the best military defense. They don't have the most money invested in the military. It might be like the USA, but overall, it's like, dude, like, Israel's defense is so impressive, and they've had to do that because they're Jews. They're surrounded by a bunch of countries that are Muslims. They're going to have a really good defense. They've been attacked they've had so many wars, 5-6 wars, some of them lasting only one of them lasting only 6 days. They have a very impressive defense system. And so it's like, okay, you're trying to get like your own way, but you kidnap people, and in return you killed around 1,000 or so people. And then you have kidnapped at least 200-300 people, and you're trying to get your own way, and in return you have like, what, 40,000-50,000 of your own people being killed. Like, in what way is that getting your own way? It does not help your cause at all. Like, I would not be surprised if you lost even more of your land and more of people. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. So what it is that my mom, she didn't say her and my dad, but my mom was like, hey, like, well, she decided to go ahead and support this one website, and would she go ahead and donate, like, or not donate, but like give them so much money, and then it's basically like a subscription box. It used to be like like $99 or so, and then due to the tariffs add on $6, so now it's like $105, $106 for each box. And so it's a monthly subscription, and in return she's actually receiving a box full of items. And I was like, what's in those boxes? She said food, which, you know, she eats some of this stuff, and then whatever she doesn't eat, I know my dad will eat. There's that. And then she also mentioned soaps, which she cannot use. Lotions, she can use some of them. And I was like, you can give some of them to me. She also mentioned coffee, and I was like, do you still have because I drink coffee. And I was like, how much? And she asked me, how often do you drink it? And I was like, every so often. Like, I'll still drink it. I want to at least try it. And so I was like, do you have it still? And she just sat there and smiled. I was like, no, you gave it away. Like, I want to try it. So, yeah. But yeah, so she has coffee, like, so they sent her coffee, lotions, soaps. I was like, you can send me some of these items, like, even once every 6 months. And then for her to send me these items, it's probably $20, like, every 6 months. So just $40 overall. So, yeah, I'm like, you can give me some of this stuff. Like, because soap I will use. Like, I'll definitely use the soap, because I'm like, hey, you know, I like some of the stuff I will use. She's also been given jewelry, which she doesn't really use, but I know she'll, like, hold it in high esteem. She'll, like, maybe set it out or put it in a jewelry box and hold as a memento. Now, in my case, I will actually use it. As long as I feel like it's in a safe place. And the reason why I say as long as I feel it's in a safe place is because, like, if it's in my dorm, not so much. But if it's like let's say I'm in a house or a home or like an apartment where, like, I only have access to, then I feel comfortable with having it there and, like, wearing it, especially if I'm like, okay, I trust that nothing will happen to this. So, yeah. I also asked my dad if he can look at my vehicle in order to replace some parts. So I will finally get that done and taken care of. Yeah. And then I also explained to him, like, basically the school. Like, I looked at a couple of the private loan places, and I explained to him, like, none of them are covering this particular college, basically. And so he explained that it's going through the school. I'm not entirely sure if I believe him or not, simply because he's been wrong about other things in the past. But oh, there's a church with the Christmas Eve service at 7. That's kind of cool. Okay. But, yeah, it's something that I would want to talk to financial aid about in regards to, like, hey, what's your policy in regards to student loans and such? So, yeah. What else is there? Tomorrow I will be dropping, oh, yeah. So we talked about that, and, like, just my, like, that's my point of view, is that basically in regards to Palestine or, like, that, and then Israel, it's like, yeah, they could have ended this war years ago. And because it's dragged on for so long, now Israel is like, you won't give us our people back. Not just our people, you won't give other countries their people back. And instead you're like, nope, I'm going to go ahead and like keep them hostages. And it's like, because you've decided to do this instead of negotiating, which you're losing, by the way. You've lost tens of thousands of people, and you could have ended this a lot earlier, and like you could have had only like maybe a couple thousand people die. Because of that, it's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and take over the place. So yeah, I'm just like, really? Like, have you not learned your lesson yet? Like, at this point you're like, okay, I'm gonna go after them, I'm upset, let me have a V for vendetta, let me have a vendetta against them, and then in return you just lose every single time. Like, it's like a very petty, upset child, and it's like, you need to let that go. Like, really, seriously. So yeah, it's like, okay, we have enough people, let's go ahead and go after this country. Yeah, no, that's a bad idea. Just stop. So anyways, yeah, but yeah, we talked about, not necessarily about the war, but my parents, because they are Christians, that's why, like, in the Bible it says, for those who support Israel, I will support, or like, even the countries that support Israel, I will support. And so that's why, in terms of my parents, they automatically support Israel. And so, yeah, I honestly, like, yeah. Those who support peace, basically, in Israel, I will also, like, give them peace. And it's like, wow. Okay, yeah. What else was there? So there's that. Oh, clouds. Fog, basically. But yeah, so my mom supports them by giving like $105 or so each month. The tariffs are $6, so yeah, it's like $99 normally for the package, and then plus tariffs, it's like $105, so $6 additional dollars. And then with that, what else? So tariffs. She mentioned about the different stuff that she's received, and I'm like, you can send it to me like once every 6 months, because she mentioned like the cost of it is like, it's not the cheapest, but yeah, I was like, you can send stuff to me like once every 6 months, and so that way, like, it's not too much for them, and it's not too much, it's not as much money for them. But then also, like, they can give me some of this stuff, so that way I can actually use it. And I will use this stuff. So, like, the food, my mom asked me about, like, how I'm being fed. And she's like, isn't the school, like, taking care of you? I was like, the cafeteria is closed for Christmas. So I'm just like, yeah. So I'm going after all the food that they have. I told her about the community pantries that they have with the different libraries. So I'm like, yeah, they have different community pantries, and so I've been going to those, which I'm very thankful for. I've talked about the churches, but I still haven't been to those different churches. But at the same time, I think we're good on food for like the next few weeks or so. So at this point, it doesn't matter as much. Yay, okay, you can see me. So yeah, I mentioned like there are community pantries. We definitely have enough food. Like there's almost two whole boxes of cereal. There's one whole box, one unopened box, and then one box that's mostly open, or like has been used just a little bit. I have 2 small things of milk, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting any more milk. The milk I got is hemp milk. I didn't know there was such a thing as hemp milk. I know there's coconut and almond milk, and then regular like cow's milk and goat milk, but I didn't know there was hemp milk. It's very different. It's very different. I would have to say it's kind of better tasting than almond milk, which I'm not a fan of, but what else is there? We also talked about, what else did we talk about? So we talked about those things, gave them an update of, oh, raccoon, aww, made it across safely, woohoo. Gave them an update, like told them basically what was happening with, so the guy that they gave him the house, I explained that, yeah, he complained that basically my dad didn't do as much work cleaning up the place as I was having him do. Just like, because the kitchen was messy, and I was like, okay, we need to go ahead and like clean up the kitchen. And he was like, even your dad didn't do that much work. I'm like, excuse me, dear sir? Like, I'm thinking, yes, he did. So what my dad did was that he did a bunch of little repairs or like little cleaning up here and there. And because of that, it kept the place up. Not 100%, but it kept it so that the place was like kept up. So it wasn't entirely messy. It was like, it wasn't entirely messy. It was like, okay, general cleanup. And then I know my dad, he would mow the lawn like once every 2 weeks, once every week. Well, my mom says once every week. But like, I remember like he would mow the lawn like once every 2 weeks or so. And it's like, okay, my dad did actually do work. He just, like, this guy just did not realize it. And I kept telling him, like, you need to mow the lawn every 2 weeks. And did he listen? No. And I, like, told my parents what I told his family. And then I guess he was talking to my mom around that time also. And my mom was like, you need to mow the lawn every 2 weeks. And she said that he sort of laughed. And what I think happened was that his family told him that. Like, I'm like, the reason why the mower is breaking is because he's not mowing the lawn every 2 weeks because something stinks. Because he's not mowing the lawn every 2 weeks, like, oh shoot, I need to go back. No. Okay, I know what I can do. Because he's not mowing the lawn every 2 weeks, like, that's why the mower is breaking, is because he's trying to mow such high grass that it's like, do I want to work? No. Like, no, it's not going to work because it's like catching on stuff and catching on like the grass, and it's so hard that the mower is literally breaking because of how bad it is, how tall the weeds are, and how like the weeds and the grass are. So I'm just like, really? Like, really? So, yeah, overall, I was like, yeah, no, like, you can't use the excuse of that, because I've been sort of keeping my parents up to date, because my parents were not happy that he basically said that even my dad, like, doesn't clean up that much, and it's like, no, I know my dad kept the place clean and such. And, like, he was like, oh, yeah, I'll fix this and fix that and fix this. And it's like, you haven't even fixed the first stuff. Like, fix that first. And so I'm just like, yeah, no. Just no. Like, that's just stupid. So, yeah, well, I'm going to ask my parents if they want to stop by the house and, like, see, I was like, he is not keeping up with the place. And it's only been in the past like month or a couple months that he's finally keeping up with the place. And it's like, yeah, he told the other deaf, like, yeah, we're not going to visit until after I have the house done. And I'm like, you need to go ahead and like still visit them, maybe about twice a month. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I told him I'm not going to do it until I get the house done. Guess what? He didn't work on the house. Like, I'm just like, dear sir, like, what's going on? And then, like, we talked about, it's just, my parents were like, maybe he needs a black woman who will go ahead and hit him for, like, not getting this stuff done. And, like, I'm like, he needs someone. It doesn't even have to be, like, a black wife. Like, he wants to get married. But I'm like, yeah, like, I'm getting angry with him. Or I got angry with him because I'm like, you're saying this, I keep telling you the same thing, and you're not listening. And because of that, guess what? The house is falling apart, and it's falling apart, and now it's overwhelming because... And then my mom was like, yeah, he needs to realize there's consequences. It's like, yeah, there are consequences. Like, I know people are like, oh man, it's so much. Yeah, there are consequences. Like, I get bad grades in my classes. Guess what? The reason why I got bad grades is because I did not study. Those are consequences. I did not study. I did not put the work into it. Those are my consequences. And it's like, okay, I have to, like, that's, like, I deserve those grades. Those are the consequences that I, like, earned, I guess. So, yeah, overall, I'm just like, you've gotta, like, be kidding me. Dear sir, like... So, yeah, overall, I'm just like, this is... Yeah. So anyways, talked with them about that, because it's related to their own old house. And then, what else was there that we talked about? Talked about that. I was like, yeah, basically there's nowhere that's doing student loans for, not private loans. Like, no place is doing private loans for this school. And I'm broke. Like, I'm so broke. I'm so broke right now. Yeah, now the four-year colleges or universities, like, they'll pay for it. And then my dad, he mentioned about, like, hey, there's cheap colleges here and there. He mentioned some states, but I'm like, I don't know. So he mentioned South Carolina. I'm like, I don't want to go to that area. Like, that, no, just no. So, yeah. But I was like, things could change. Things could really change. Like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, my parents also gave me one of my uncles. So my uncle that passed away, when did he pass away? Last Thanksgiving? 2 Thanksgivings ago? Something like that. So he passed away, I think last year around Thanksgiving. They finally gave me one of his jackets. He had like 12 jackets. He was actually around my size, and I'm somewhat small. And so, like, I wear a medium, for example. And my mom ended up getting one jacket. My dad, of course, he can't fit them. He can fit his socks, so he ended up taking a lot of socks. And then they also gave me one of his jackets because he had a lot. They also gave me one of his knives. So, yeah, I'm like, oh, thank you. But, yeah, I'm glad that I got one of his jackets because right now it's in the 50s. And I have a heavy coat, and the heavy coat is so thick that it's not useful for what I need. I think that might be leather. Or maybe it's like a vinyl type. I need to double check this. I don't know how to clean it. I think it has a lining. It has a lining. And then also in like one pocket it had like tissue. And in the other pocket it has buttons for this. I think it's buttons for this. Excuse me. I was like, oh, there's stuff in here. So I did check. There's another pocket. It doesn't have anything And he kept up with his stuff. So they're like still in really good shape overall. But yeah, it's a really nice jacket. It feels a little big for me, but honestly the arm length is just right. So it just kind of covers here, and yeah, I guess overall we were the same size. And then I was like, did you get me any of his jeans? Or like, we pretty much gave everything else away. I was like, true. His jeans are about like what I wore when I was younger. They might still fit me, I don't know. But yeah, what I'll do is that I'll go over to Goodwill sometime in the future, spend like $5-6 on jeans, and then make sure that they have the the yellow dot or the red dot or whatever for that week, and make sure that they actually fit me. So those two, and then I'll get like maybe 2 or 3 pairs of those kind of jeans so I can go ahead and do different designs, and then take those jeans in, let her know what happened, because I remember after we were done like putting the design in, she was like, I wonder how these are going to hold up in the wash. So what I'm going to do is basically get a couple of jeans, and then or maybe 2-3 pairs of jeans, and then have her do it like that. And so that way, like, see how it works out in terms of like if they hold up, and I'll try them on and everything. So yeah, but yeah, we talked about that. What is that tomorrow, though, my mom, I'm not sure about my dad, but my mom and I are going out to different ladies' houses that she became friends with, and going to visit them, because she likes their company. They're older ladies. Like, one is a black lady and then one is a white lady. And then it was actually funny. So my parents are very open about talking. They're open and honest about talking about certain things. And so my parents were like, yeah, at this, in the city of Charlie, so Charlie, they were like, yeah, basically the last time we were at this particular Taco Bell, there were white people, and now it's like full of black people. It's like, yeah, like, so basically, like, people are leaving like the main city, and they're like, no, this isn't a good place. And so I'm glad that just people are here and they're safe. And so my mom also explained that at some of the Burger Kings where she's at, so not in this state, but in other states, some other states, they're like, she wants her Impossible Whopper to be cooked in the microwave. And they're not allowing her to do that because they're like, it's cross-contamination. And she's like, what in the world? So it might cross-contaminate. So I was actually talking to my roommate. She's allergic to fish. And this, I believe her. Because, like, yeah. What is that she's allergic to fish. And so she's like, if you have fish and you have to put in the microwave, just make sure you go ahead and wipe out the microwave. That's the only thing that she asks about that. Now, you can be around, like, one of my suite mates, she was, like, one of the first conversations we had, she's like, are you allergic to anything? So let's talk about allergies. Are you allergic to anything? I was like, no, except for bananas. Like, I can't eat it. And she's like, again, this is the first conversation I ever had with her. And she's like, I'm allergic to fish, like, highly allergic. Like, you can't even eat fish around me. Like, you can't eat it. You can't even open up around me. If you, like, open it up and then I come in there, like, she's that allergic. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was like the first conversation she had with me. It's like, okay, let's not have to call the hospital or like 911. I really don't feel like, having someone die. But yeah, so like my roommate, for example, she even has my roommate who's not deathly allergic to fish, she was like, I have an EpiPen if you need it. And so I'm like, okay, good job. I'm glad you have an EpiPen. So, but she's allergic to fish just enough where if you cook in the microwave, for example, then she's like, just clean it out. And also, like, you can eat fish around her, she just can't eat the fish. So in terms of cross-contamination, I can see that, because it's like, okay, if you cook it, like, the molecules could get into, like, you cook it and then it expands and gets all over into the microwave, and then you have to clean out the microwave. I still remember reading this one story about this guy. he was like, I feel bad because about once a month he goes to a hotel and his kid is deathly allergic to peanuts. And I mean, like, deathly allergic to peanuts. So what he, like, peanut butter, peanuts, all that jazz. So about once a month he goes inside of a hotel room and he goes ahead and he, like, eats peanut butter M&Ms, he eats peanuts, he eats, like, anything peanut. And then after that, he goes ahead and washes his clothes and brushes his teeth and, like, I guess also takes a shower and is like, okay, I'm done, I'm okay. And so he does all of that because his kid is deathly allergic to, like, peanuts. And he's like, I don't want my kid to die, but I really miss peanuts. So I'm like, you know what? The struggle is real. So I do appreciate, so, like, I have never come across anyone who is that deathly allergic to fish. And so I do appreciate the fact that they're like, hey, so just to give you a heads up, I've never been around that, but now I understand, like, if somebody's like, I'm deathly allergic to this, that they will be upfront and honest with you, and they'll tell you right up front, hey, I am deathly allergic to, like, XYZ. Like, I am deathly allergic to fish, like in her case. And it's like, you know what, girl, I thank you for letting us know because I really don't want you to die, like, at all. So, like, I remember, I think it was last semester. No, it was the spring semester of 2025. I remember, like, they would cook peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the oven, like a small oven. And so they would do that along with other sandwiches, and they were really good. And eventually they stopped serving, like, peanut butter sandwiches like that because someone was actually very much allergic to peanut butter. And I'm just like, sad face. But I'm like, you know what? I really don't want someone else to die because of a peanut butter jelly sandwich. So yeah, cross contamination. But yeah, I really need to, like, let my mom know about that. Like, yeah, basically there is a chance of cross contamination. But yeah, I told my mom, just go ahead, talk to this Burger King and they might do it. So I'll see if they can do it. And and there's, like, by the hotel, I said it was Comfort Suites, and I'm thinking, oh, they have a kitchen. They do not have a kitchen, but they do have breakfast. So I asked the lady, what do they have? And I was like, it's for my parents. What I did not tell her is that I'm sending it to my parents so they can get me breakfast. But anyways, I was like, it's for my parents. So I went to, which technically the list is for my parents so they can get me breakfast. But she was like, yeah, they have boiled eggs, they have scrambled eggs, they have toast with cream cheese, they have waffles. So sometimes the waffles are pumpkin spice or strawberry. And I was like, I told my parents, get me pumpkin spice or strawberry, and if they don't have that, don't worry about it. So they sometimes will also have plain waffles, but I'm like, I don't want plain waffles. Give me the fancy waffles. Yeah. What else do they have? I noticed that they do have apples, so I asked for 2 apples. The reason being is because 1 apple to keep and the other apple. Excuse me. Basically, I plan on getting, like, a whole thing of apples and just taking it with me here. Because I miss fruit. Like, I have a jar of, like, peaches, and I'm just like, I miss fruit. And then we also have peanut butter. Yeah. Ooh, itchy. So we have that. They also have bagels. She said donuts. Oh, I don't think I put down donuts. I want donuts. I'm gonna totally go after the sweets. So yeah, she mentioned about those things, and it's like, cool. Okay. But yeah, so I'm excited. And then these are all the books I have not read. Here we go. And then, yeah, I plan on setting my alarm. My mom will be meeting with a person probably about noon. So I'll set my alarm for probably about 9 a.m. or so. I sent the list to my parents already, so that way they will have it. And then I can wake up and go over there. Or I'll wake up and then I will go over to, where is it? To the local library, drop off some of these books, and then pick up 25 more. Yeah, so that way I can go ahead and get some more done. And then the next time I can check out more books will be in next week. I'll pick out like 25 on Monday and then 25 on Tuesday. So yeah, I'll basically be doing all of that. But yeah, this is my uncle's jacket. It's a little bit big, but it's warm. It's not hot, it's warm, but it's perfect in this weather. I honestly don't know what it's made out of. But he is well off, so yeah. Also, I've been like, okay, what do I make money? Why would I make money? And I saw this one video, or several videos, for this guy. It looks like he's well off. He might not be rich, but he's well off. And so he ends up fostering a lot of kids over the years. I think he was like, yeah, he fosters like 40 some kids, and he's still in touch with some of them. And because he's still in touch, he'll like send them Christmas gifts and things. And I'm just like, that is so sweet. And he's like, yeah, the whole goal of fostering is basically reunification, so that way like the kid can get back with the parents. And so I was like, that is so sweet. Oh, I need to do laundry. Dang it. Okay. Anyways, but I thought that was really sweet and cool and all that jazz. So yeah. But yeah, so I like it. It's kind of warm. But yeah, and then I have a few more books. 1, 2, 3, 6 books to read. I'll read them. Maybe a couple tonight, a couple tomorrow. But yeah, I will talk to you later. I hope that you have a great day. I know this video took a while. Okay, where's my soap? Don't think I see any soap in there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Hope you have a great night. I know by the time you see this, actually, I'm gonna have this video for the morning, from whenever I wake up, and then I'll have a short video for me going to bed. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you.